There is a lot going on these days. I've been working with CRM my whole career, but I'd say there's a lot more happening in the last 2 years than the first 20. Of course, it's about digitalization. Things like cloud, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, big data, augmented reality, software as a service, predictive analysis, and so on. And the cloud is evolving. What started out as global access and virtual servers and new licensing models became something a lot more important. Today, when new systems are built, they are made to interact over the internet. A good example of this is maps. In the 90s, I was actually in projects where we developed maps, but that will definitely never happen again. And when I was out traveling during the summer, I would receive something like this, where we had a map to follow, and after 8 hours in the car with the kids in the back seat, we spent another 2 hours to find our final destination. Today, we just hook up one of the existing solutions, such as Google or Bing or Foursquare. This example is Booking.com. They're using Google, and these solutions are super cheap, sometimes free. They're incredibly powerful with support for a lot of different devices. They have zooming, they have streets from the picture, global coverage, and a lot other stuff that Booking.com would never invest in themselves. If Booking were making their own maps, it will look completely different and be part of their offer. But today we just change a few parameters on the same Google map and we can show the Tesla charging stations. And it's not only the maps that became available. We have all different kinds of verification services. We have artificial intelligence, voice recognition, predictive analysis, and we have all kinds of different storage opportunities for media, which not only stores the media, but lets us interact with the users. When I go traveling, I make my reservations online. And during the trip, I take pictures with my phone. And suddenly on a map, I can see how I traveled, I can see those reservations, and I can see those pictures. This is no functionality I ever asked for. It's just suddenly there because things started to work together. But then when I get home, I have to open some old, tired legacy system to make my travel expensive. I would much rather have a button I pushed, make travel expenses, and then my boss could get the context by seeing this map and pressing approve. And there's a lot of different processes in the business that could evolve. But it's been too expensive and too hard to integrate. It has to be a lot cheaper and easier to make those investments make sense. We can reuse excellent components that are built to integrate over the internet. And if we can use these components, it's unpractical with these large systems where customers had to buy all or nothing. It's a lot better with an integrated smorgasbord where you could choose those processes you need and only pay for what's relevant. Microsoft recognized this concept of using components, and they're unifying all its business application, breaking down the artificial silos of ERP and CRM, and delivering new purpose-built applications in the cloud. It makes a lot of sense that Microsoft is pushing this concept. A lot of processes is not CRM or ERP related. If you take the whole CRM concept, you're very dependent on ERP. For instance, when you make a quote or where you have customer support that needs to know everything, or whenever you need to invoice something. So instead of having these two different systems heavily integrated and look at them as separates, we would look at the process going across these two different elephants and focus on the process itself. So then if we start with our general platform with those components like a Google Map or YouTube, and we add on the Dynamics 365, the Office 365, we put on Skype, Power BI, Logic apps, and Power Apps, and then about 3,500 something new Azure services such as facial recognition or big data solutions or whatever, we have a platform where we can deliver a lot. We can deliver predictive analysis like how long does it take to travel based on current traffic, or select what solution is the best for this type of customer. So one of those little white boxes is facial recognition. We could send up a picture and get the gender and age and use that in our marketing. And we can also get the mood. If someone is tired, if someone is sick, how many people is there? And what can we do with that? Should we stop the car if someone is falling asleep? Or will we even drive cars in the future? Someone told me in the 90s that I did not understand their need. They wanted to record notes while traveling from one customer to another. And with that technology at that time, that was highly impossible. The size of the data and there was no voice recognition made it impossible. But today, I'm kind of surprised. I'm not saying that this is a standard, but it's definitely something that is happening. And if you are implementing a CRM system today, it will probably live way past the era where we use voice recognition for doing our notes in the car. About 20 years ago, when I worked at some security departments, they had these huge machines at the entrance where they scanned the eye to let me pass. But today, I log on the phone through my fingerprints 50 times a day or using facial recognition in the Windows Phone. It's all about understanding how to use this new technology, like GE Aviation using 3D printers to print parts for their machines, or ThyssenKrupp using Internet of Things for collecting data from their elevators to know how to fix them before they break down, and by that offering guarantees. Or DHL using virtual glasses to find that little box blinking red in that huge warehouse. Or working in new ways like Tesla, who publish all their research to make their own solution a standard on the market. And all this new technology leads to new solutions, and we keep coming up with new ideas all the time. This button, for example, is more fun than good, perhaps. It's a button which you attach to your washing machine, and when you're out of detergent, you press it, and they will send you a new box. Distributed Internet of Things. And we're still learning how to use the fantastic mobile phone. Just a few years ago, you get a Windows form pretty much for reporting anything. But these days, if I want to report something broken, like a street lamp, we'll have an app that knows your location and who you are and what lamp this considers. But this is all new, old technology by now. Instead, we're using predictive analysis, having Internet of Things, reading the lamp, and knowing that it will break and fixing it before it breaks, all through automatic work orders distributed and picked up by, for instance, third party. Pokemon was a huge hit last summer. As a Microsoft freak, I missed it because I had a Windows phone. But Pokemon is based on what is called crowdsourcing. It was a previous game where the players registered different places, which Pokemon then uses in their game. And we can use crowdsourcing in many ways. I used it in a solution for car inspection. And when you inspect cars, you have to identify the car by finding the chassis number. And the chassis number might be hard to find in that small amount of time you have. All the trucks are pretty much customized and it could be anywhere. And French cars could be a problem sometimes. But by letting the inspector take a picture of a number that they found and attach that to the car, they eliminated this issue in less than a year. And this leads to more efficient inspections, less delays, simpler planning, and happier customers. And this identification process is usable by a lot of other industries, like the police, for instance. So this data is valuable and can be sold. I strongly believe in the Microsoft vision where the customers gets more for the money by reusing components and only paying for what you're using. I personally have thought for a long time that Microsoft is the best bet, the best platform. It's a safe bet, a winning concept with standards without being isolated. So whenever I want to leave the platform, I can connect to something else. But lately, Microsoft has become innovative and exciting and is pushing this area forward. CGI have a lot of different departments for this platform. We work with Internet of Things, machine learning, SharePoint, Azure, Office 365. I belong to Dynamics 365 with experts on all the different processes that are included in the Dynamics 365 package. And CGI is having experts that can help you choose the right components and the right tools for you to get as much as possible out of your investments.